Fenway part of Boston is a very unique neighborhood. It goes all the way from the greatest healthcare institutions in the world to the greatest art museum in the world. It cuts through all kinds of geographic lines.
When you're in the Fenway, you're in a unique part of Boston. It's full of cultural, academic, art, music institutions, some of which are over 100 years old, some of which are brand new. And it's also full of people who are just passionate about bringing these cultural treasures and resources to you.
All of these institutions are open to everybody in Boston, in Massachusetts, and everyone who has the wisdom to visit Boston and Massachusetts.
Boston is a great city, and living in this community is outstanding.
The diversity of cultural and art institutions is enormous.
I mean, in terms of the cultural riches, the Fenway, by far, more than virtually any major city in America and perhaps in the world, has more cultural resources per capita than anywhere.
We've spawned about 12,000 other historical societies across the country. Not only did we start a movement, but we're also considered after the Library of Congress to be the greatest repository on American life, history, and culture in this country.
The Pops is probably the best known orchestra, domestically speaking, in the United States. The symphony has a much more international appeal. And one of the things that people might not think about, and we're very fortunate to have these wonderful sports teams, one sitting in the Fenway. But if you go to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, or you go to Prague, or you go to anywhere, Rio de Janeiro, you can say Boston Celtic, Boston Bruin, they won't have a clue what you're talking about. You say Boston Symphony Orchestra, they know what that is. We've partnered with many cultural institutions, educational institutions. We had a great relationship with Northeastern, who obviously is part of the Fenway Alliance. We even partnered with the Boston Red Sox. We did an album featuring baseball music, and it's called our Red Sox album, because we felt the Red Sox weren't getting enough attention in Boston, and therefore had to help them a little bit along. So it was great to do that, and it sold tens of thousands of copies, and we're very happy with the relationship.
Good.
A great baseball team needs a great ballpark in which to survive, and a great ballpark needs a great neighborhood in which to prosper. We at the Red Sox are very proud that Fenway Park is located where it is in this great city, in this great neighborhood. But we're especially proud also of the relationship that we've developed with the Fenway Alliance, with the entire Fenway neighborhood.
Well, the West Fenway has always had a great residential neighborhood, and it's always been lacking a main street. And over the last 10 years, we've worked closely with the neighborhood and with the city in seeing the revitalization of Boylston Street.
For me, this gate represents the city of Boston in many senses, but also it represents the transition between the East and the West Fenway. It is also a place of transition between the city and the wonderful park.
A parkway is not a road abutting or in a park. It's a part of the park itself.
When Olmsted built the park system or designed the park system, I think he had in mind a little bit more of a cultivated area than it has become. But since then, a lot of the environment has changed, and I think we have a greater responsibility to be stewards for, those are goldfinches that just went by, for birds and wildlife. So I feel very strongly that that is our responsibility, and one of the things that I really enjoy about these Victory Gardens.
I mean, people don't believe this. We came that close to paving over the Victory Gardens for parking for the Red Sox, who threatened to leave town if they didn't get more parking. Now, a lot of us thought they needed another good left-handed pitcher. Nothing has changed. The whole area is just one of the things that defines Boston.
When you think about the pragmatic visionaries who created the Fenway Alliance, Jack Martin and others, you realize that the Alliance mimics the cultural diversity of the original Emerald Necklace Plan, and it is essentially a metaphor for what the 19th century leaders were trying to do, to find a way to bring people together, to understand art, to understand culture, to understand what the city could mean to them both as individuals and as institutions. The Fenway Alliance deserves the tip of the hat for helping us move along in a way that could otherwise have taken us much longer and been far less collaborative.
Wheelock Family Theater is known for its celebration of diversity It's celebration of all kinds of people playing unexpected roles. And I think that's one of the things that makes Wheelock Family Theater so loved.
The Gardner Museum's been here since 1903, welcoming Bostonians and visitors from around the world. It's a treasure of a Venetian-invoked Renaissance palace. A new addition is going up behind the museum, designed by Renzo Piano, and it is going to just open a whole new civic space to the city and, of course, enliven the Fenway.
Well, the new MFA, as we call it, the centerpiece, is the building of a new wing for Art of the Americas, designed by one of the world's great architects, Norman Foster, and his London partnership. And we've created, I believe, a beautiful building which complements our great historic building. The MFA is one of the world's greatest museums, but set in a very local community, and we are so proud to serve that community. One of the most effective ways we can do that is with free community days. One of those is, of course, part of the Opening Our Doors program.
Fenway Alliance has been a wonderful way for us to really get to know our neighbors. One of the great ways we do that here on the Christian Science Plaza is by hosting the kickoff event each Columbus Day for the Opening Our Doors Festival.
Hi everybody, welcome!
It's the largest free music and arts festival in Boston.
Each Columbus Day, the entire neighborhood opens up, all the different institutions, the cultural institutions and the restaurants, and we invite the public to enjoy our wares.
This is a great event to have a sampler of all the different things that go on in the Fenway neighborhood. When you don't have a lot of time to come constantly and take a whole afternoon or a whole evening and take your kid to see this or that, now you can see this and that, and it's all in one day.
I really liked the glass balloon. I liked it because they got to blow up fire and they made glass out of it.
So we really think, I really think personally, that today small colleges are at their best when they work together. We think they're creating the kind of environment that will become increasingly attractive to the kind of young, creative adults that we want to bring to Mass Art and into Boston and into this district.
Together we've engaged on projects that have helped beautify this area. Huntington Avenue is a project that we undertook together.
From the very beginning, we've been in the heart of things, and that's what the Fenway is for Simmons.
Welcome to Emmanuel College, 400 the Fenway, the grand address, where we have been educating students in the liberal arts and sciences for over 90 years, where our students make Boston their extended classroom and call the Fenway their home. We're proud to be a founding member of the Fenway Alliance.
It's a very special place, and for those people who really are interested in world culture and world music, there's no place like it. A lot of young people out there tearing it up.
And the results that we produce, as measured by the outcomes experienced by our students and by our audiences, is nothing short of wonderful.
NEC has the great good fortune of being the proud possessor and manager of one of the finest concert halls in the entire world, Jordan Hall. We are doing something like 900 events a year. Every single one of those events is free. It's something of extraordinary quality, which I think sets off this part of Huntington and the Avenue of the Arts, but also I think is the foundation for our relationship with the city and with this community.
What a strong neighborhood, a unique neighborhood that has everything you want in your family life as you live in an urban area. Close proximity to the Charles River, to walk along the Charles, to walk downtown. But I just say the institutions that are there, Berkeley College, Maryland Conservatory, Northeastern, you go on and on and on. And today is one of those thriving neighborhoods that you look to as part of the nucleus of the city of Boston.